June 5th, 2025. That's the date he took his last breath. And over 365 days have gone by. No resting place, no final peace. Just petty, vindictive politics. My fellow Zambians, look at what they're doing to our very own. This is not who we are. We gotta get our country back. Hey, they think we don't see their bitterness. Even the youth know about their pettiness. Over 12 months since the leader passed away, but that man is still blocking his burial today. Twisted the lodge to settle an old score, keeping the helpless widow crying at the door. You think you are flexing your power, lifting the bar, but you've just shown everybody how hateful you are. Shagwalungu, they won't let you sleep. Shagwalungu, the grudges they keep. This is not who we are. This is not our way. We will change this story on election day. Shagwalungu, Shagwalungu, we are not going home. Shagwalungu, Shagwalungu, until you let him go. Shagwa, Shagwa, let the man rest. Shagwa, Shagwa, let the man rest. We are tired of the grudges, take your beef away. Shagwa, Shagwa, let the man rest. Hey. This is not who we are. Few days to go before we get our country back. Go anywhere in the land. When a man dies, we shake each other's hand. You drop the argument, you show some respect. That's the basic decency that we expect. But one angry man wants to play a wicked game, trying to erase the former president's name. If they can treat a statesman with this much hate, don't even think they'll care about your fate. Shagwalungu, they won't let you sleep. Shagwalungu, the grudges they keep. This is not who we are. This is not our way. We will change the story on election day. Shagwalungu, Shagwalungu, we are not going home. Shagwalungu, Shagwalungu, until you let him go. Forget their protocols, forget their foolish pride. Look at the bitterness they're trying to hide. On August 13th, your vote has the power to kick out the hatred and heal our land. Shagwalungu, they won't let you sleep. Shagwalungu, the grudges they keep. Hey, this is not who we are. This is not our way. We will change this story on election day. Shagwalungu, Shagwalungu, we are not going home. Shagwalungu, Shagwalungu, until you let him go. Shagwa, Shagwa, let the man rest. Shagwa, Shagwa, let the man rest. We are tired of the grudges, take your beef away. Shagwa, Shagwa, let the man rest. This is not who we are. Few days to go before we get our country back. Shagwa, Shagwa, let him rest. 12 months in the cold is enough. Zangra, remember this when you stand in line to vote. Edgar Chagwa Lungu is still out in the cold, still waiting to sleep.
bayebi amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyotagula kwibukisha kana depotimo wimbo watemenwa katongi abazunga batita katongi nagula kwibukisha kateka kaibukubuna kapona neseko syove pamenso yangwaba umebaya iyaba iyaba ume ya iyaba ume
kateka wabantu twakulira lelo twakulira shikakukonke milimo shove
eti kume mokulo ndolola vale lilo mwingi
iseko wingi mwakwete iseso wingi mwakwete mwaya mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
katushi muchibo kege wali bomba kale lomba mwatuja tulelilake
that he left. In this, it is true that those who stand for right and justice, they may suffer just for a moment, but posterity remembers them. Indeed, as the great teacher of the church, Tertullian, does say, that it is on the blood of martyrs that the church flourishes. It is on the blood of martyrs that the church grows. We in Zambia today, we remember a luminary of our republic, President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, of happy memories. Today, he marks 1 year anniversary of his death. He occupied a huge political and social space in our country, being the 6th Republican president. If we ever remember Lungu as a republic, it is what he did regarding constitutionalism in Zambia. At the risk of losing power, he enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic the 50% plus one. He was willing in defense of democracy and the common good to enshrine a constitution that ensured that a leader of this republic is elected by the majority of citizens of this republic. We have every reason to give him credit for that. That is leadership, not putting your personal interest into the laws of the republic, but looking at the greater picture of the republic, looking at posterity and the future of the country. He signed a constitution that had the 50% plus one, a complete change from a simple majority past the post. So we thank him for that aspect that God gave him to look at the bigger picture of the republic. Also, he was quite a sociable person, simple and ordinary, and yet President of the Republic. It is not in dispute that he was a man of many gifts. At one point, he held 3 portfolios, even before he became president. There was a time when he was acting president, Minister of Defense, and Secretary General of the party. It is a gift. 3 portfolios, 1 person. And so we are grateful to God for the gift of Edgar Chagwa Lungu and his contribution to our republic as we have come to know it. He loved the citizens irrespective of ethnic groupings. He had friends across the vast span of our republic, never using people to his own personal ends. He truly lived to the identity of one Zambia, one nation. So as we gather together this afternoon, together with some members of the Lungu family here present, we say thank you for the aspect that Lungu contributed to our republic as we have come to know it. Be that as it may, going forward, let us pray for this country. You see, my dear sisters and brothers, there's a reason why God gifted us with 72 tribes in Zambia. If you want, you can even make them 73. You add the Chinese. There's a reason. All these ethnic groups, they are meant to praise God in their language, in their cultures. Language is for purposes of praising God. God being praised by different ethnic groups. It's not supposed to be used to divide the people. We are not supposed to politicize and weaponize the tribes in Zambia. That is wrong.
Mwadikanya kwa swaki ya masoja. Itu kwa ya masoja. Itu kwa ya masoja. Itu kwa ya masoja. Na manu makata posa president. Na kupewa na venyu twari parako. Mwadikanya swaki ya masoja twari kwata swaki ya Chipani ya UPND ya kaide chiro. Ichema. No. Camera, make sure.
Welcome to today's broadcast. Today, 5th June 2026. We remember the late president, Zambia's 6th president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu. I'll be opening the phone lines for you to join in any of your tributes to the late president. Despite the boycott from the leadership of CCZ and DFZ, we saw various memorials held across the country. Today in Lusaka, there were two major memorials that were held, one at Regina Passis Chawama Parish in Chawama, and the one that was held by the Lusaka Archdiocese. You have just seen Father Simpasa speak on behalf of the Archbishop of Lusaka, Dr. Alec Banda, and he gave a very powerful eulogy to the late president. However, where the incident in Chawama didn't end well, because the convoy of Brian Mundubile, Tonse Pamozi, a presidential aspirant, accompanied by Makebi Zulu, the vice president running mate, you saw that it was disturbed by an ambush by the UPND cadres. There is an attempt to portray, they picked some video somewhere else, because when the cadres ran away, the PF cadres followed them and they found them at the campaign center for Ngandu, my dear brother Ebo Ngandu's campaign center in Chawama, where the assailants, the attackers, had gone to hide, and the PF cadres followed them to try to take them to the police. So they are using that video to show that the PF were the assailants or the provocateurs, when in fact it was UPND who mobilized, because they were watching the church program in Chawama. They were watching. So they decided then to ambush the convoy of President Mundubile, Brian Mundubile, and Makebi Zulu. Those ugly scenes, I think, have been strongly condemned. Let me pick the video for Brian Mundubile condemning those particular video, but let's listen to Father Simpasa.
That he left. In this, it is true that those who stand for right and justice, they may suffer just for a moment, but posterity remembers them. Indeed, as the great teacher of the church, Tertullian, does say, that it is on the blood of martyrs that the church flourishes. It is on the blood of martyrs that the church grows. We in Zambia today, we remember a luminary of our republic, President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, of happy memories. Today, he marks 1 year anniversary of his death. He occupied a huge political and social space in our country, being the 6th Republican president. If we ever remember Lungu as a republic, it is what he did regarding constitutionalism in Zambia. At the risk of losing power, he enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic the 50% plus 1. He was willing in defense of democracy and the common good to enshrine a constitution that ensured that a leader of this republic is elected by the majority of citizens of this republic. We have every reason to give him credit for that. That is leadership. not putting your personal interest into the laws of the Republic, but looking at the greater picture of the Republic, looking at posterity and the future of the country. He signed a constitution that had the 50% plus one, a complete change from a simple majority past the post. So we thank him for that aspect that God gave him to look at the bigger picture of the Republic. Also, he was quite a sociable person, simple and ordinary, and yet President of the Republic. It is not in dispute that he was a man of many gifts. At one point, he held 3 portfolios, even before he became president. There was a time when he was acting president, Minister of Defense, and Secretary General of the party. It is a gift. 3 portfolios, 1 person. And so we are grateful to God for the gift of Edgar Chagwa Lungu and his contribution to our Republic as we have come to know it. He loved the citizens irrespective of ethnic groupings. He had friends across the vast span of our Republic, never using people to his own personal ends. He truly lived to the identity of one Zambia, one nation. So as we gather together this afternoon, together with some members of the Lungu family here present, we say thank you for the aspect that Lungu contributed to our Republic as we have come to know it. Be that as it may, going forward, let us pray for this country. You see, my dear sisters and brothers, there's a reason why God gifted us with 72 tribes in Zambia. If you want, you can even make them 73. You add the Chinese. There's a reason. All these ethnic groups, they are meant to praise God in their language, in their cultures. Language is for purposes of praising God.
Mwadikanya kwa swaki ya masoja. Itu kwa ya masoja. Itu nge kwa ya masoja. Itu kwa ya masoja. Camera, make sure.
Hey.
I'll start by condemning the violence perpetrated by UPND cadres in Chawama. As the public may be aware, today we had a church service, a prayer service for the late President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. And after 12, soon after the service ended, we were driving through Chawama, waving and showing support to all our voters, when a group of UPND cadres advanced from the front and began throwing stones. As a result of that, a number of our youths and our members have been injured, badly injured for that matter. I've just been informed by those of our members that remain behind that, as a matter of fact, some of our members have actually been arrested. For what reason, I do not know. So to start with, I want to call upon the leadership of the UPND to immediately condemn the violence that has happened in Chawama. We want to warn the leadership of the UPND that the Zambian people not watch the UPND go to this length to disrupt peaceful processions. The Zambian people would want to see the leadership of the UPND speak against violence. UPND is in power now until August this year. What is expected of them is to lead by example. If at all they would want to lead a peaceful campaign period, they should start by condemning the violence in Chawama. And we call upon all peace-loving Zambians to keep calm, remain calm, as the Tonse Alliance members will continue to promote peace, will continue to preach love and unity, even during this very difficult period. I therefore wish to put it on record that the incident in Chawama is indeed regrettable, and that the political parties behind that violence should refrain from causing mayhem.
Thank you very much. That's our leader, presidential candidate for the Tonse Pamozi Alliance, Brian Mundubile. Speaking, he's also National Reconciliation Party for Unity and Prosperity presidential candidate. That's the official ticket of the two alliances for the president. He was condemning the violence that occurred in Chawama. Civil society groupings have also issued a very strong warning in light of the incidences of violence that have escalated. Their Action Aid Zambia, Alliance for Community Action Zambia, Bloggers of Zambia, Caritas Zambia, Chapter 1 Foundation, Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, LCK Freedom Foundation, Transparency International, Panos Institute of Southern Africa, and the Zambia Council for Social Development. These organizations have expressed alarm, and they've called on the president. President Hakainde Hichilema is the one that is in charge of the parameters of peace and the instrument of violence. He's the one at the center as Republican president, and they've called him to halt this escalating violence. It has been going on for the last 3 into 4 weeks now. And the ugly scenes we saw in Chawama, where, as President Brian Mundubile has reported, there were injuries. And as usual, they targeted those that they deemed came from the opposition, and the police arrested those from the opposition. We know where the police stand in this. President Hakainde Hichilema has appointed loyalists and many from his tribe or from the region as police commissioners, and they are in full gear. The reason they were appointed, the entire reason, is this season. And they're not bringing peace, but instead promoting oppression. Mr. Mwemba yesterday, a police commissioner for Eastern Province, was issuing threats. There's a calendar for the burial of the late king, His Majesty Mpezeni IV. He'll be buried on Tuesday, but the funeral is in full swing. And he's already issuing intimidatory statements, condemning, I don't know, in Eastern Province, people use bikes, both motorcycles and bikes, and they don't come with trucks or minibuses to welcome you when you come to the airport. He sees it as a problem that people are organizing that when leaders of the opposition come, that motorbikes will be at the airport. How is that a problem? It's like he doesn't even know how Eastern Province works.
Groupings who want to bring confusion, especially this time around when we are mourning Ngwenyama, Nkosiyama Nkosi. There are people who are planning tomorrow, Friday, as they arrive at our airport, Chipata, they have mobilized motorbike riders for them to gain mileage from the airport, probably up to Ipenduke, which is an head off. If those plans are there, can they stop? Because now they are going to see the other side of the police. You cannot gain mileage out of lawlessness, Ipenduke, which is an head off. If those plans are there, can they stop? Because now they are going to see the other side of Ipenduke, which is an head off. If those plans are there, can they stop? Because now they are going to see the other side of the police.
And we know the other side of the police. We know what they are doing to Xavier Franklin Chungu. The Lusaka High Court has granted him bail. And there were instructions from State House, we understand, that Xavier Chungu should not be released at all. And Xavier Chungu, despite getting a High Court order for his bail and meeting up bail conditions, there was even an attempt to harass. The bail condition required that 2 civil servants, a matter that in itself is totally illegal. Courts now are demanding that civil servants should be the sureties. No, it should just be anyone who's credible, who can attest, someone who fixed a board that can be traced. But the courts are making it difficult for members of the opposition to get bail. I remember the entire 4, 5, 6 times that I was arrested, we were only saved by the civil servants who were members of parliament. That is the only reason we got those bail or police bond, because they demanded that it should be a civil servant. And which civil servant will stand for an opposition leader? They will suffer victimization at the office. So despite all that, Xavier Chungu managed to get bail. And the police frustrated him. They didn't release him yesterday. They kept on saying they needed to verify the sureties. But we knew where they were going because we already had information that he should not be released. Xavier Chungu has been slapped with 11 counts already and is facing multiple punishment if convicted of in excess of 25 years, because the State Securities Act that they are accusing him of flouting and discussing matters when he was Director General between 1991 and 2002, they say he's divulging secrets. That is a very extremely punitive law, and you can go in minimum 25 years. So if he's got 11 offenses for the interviews he gave on Z Podcast, on Millennium TV, and on Capital FM, and you've watched those interviews, they are totally innocent. If there is anything that Xavier Chungu could have spoken that could alarm the country, he spoke in it in his almost six-hour testimony in the High Court in a matter between Anderson Kambela Mazoka, with Brigadier General Godfrey Mianda and Christon Tembo versus Levi Mwanawasa, the electoral petition that was raised. against the election of President Levi Mwanawasa in 2001. Xavier Chungu was a star witness. He revealed everything. And that government, which was testifying against, he even disclosed how much Levi Mwanawasa got through the intelligence and how he Xavier Chungu, himself witnessed President Levi Mwanawasa collecting a bag of money, and he couldn't even open the door, and it had to be opened by the director of intelligence, Lukabonana Mwane. He spoke in Lamba that mwisho, tukamonana mwisho. Those that know Lamba can say it in the comments. So that was a hilarious statement, and the media picked it because you could picture this heavy, hefty man, Levi Mwanawasa, with so much money that he had it in both hands, and he couldn't open the door, and the Director General is the one that opened for him. If there's anything serious or breaching of national security said, he said it 20 years ago when Levi Mwanawasa was president. He divulged very sensitive. He discussed, what you are watching is nothing to what he discussed. And he wasn't charged with offenses of Official Secrets Acts. In this discussion, all he did is, from his knowledge, he predicted a loss for President Hakainde Hichilema. That's a major statement he's made. Another major statement he made is that the reason they fought Frederick Chiluba was his decision to unbundle the mines, because the promoters and representatives of Anglo-American wanted the entire mine into one lot. They wanted, the way ZCCM was, to be offloaded to the private sector as a private monopoly. President Frederick Chiluba refused. He said, we cannot run away from a public monopoly and then we create a private monopoly. He refused. So he dismantled and unbundled the mines. That is why you have Chambishi owned by another company, mining firm. You have Luansha owned by another company, KCM, another company, Mopani by another company, and other mines, Kansashi by another company. It was a deliberate policy decision against what was then called the Kafue Consortium, led by Anglo-American. And Anglo-American were promoting Western interest. The Xavier Chungu reveals that all the drama you saw about Chiluba is a thief, that he stole, he did what. He says there was no offense. The only crime Chiluba did was to unbundle the mines. That policy decision, they wanted to hold him as an example, embarrass him. If you are head of state and you think you have political power, when you leave power, we will sort you out. And that's all he said. I don't see anything sensitive other than predicting that President Hakainde Hichilema will lose the 2026 elections, and that the reason Chiluba was persecuted and those that are associated with him was his single decision to unbundle the mines. And you know who he invested in the task force on corruption. 40 million pounds was investment done by the British on the task force on corruption. They spent 40 million pounds. And what did they recover? Nothing. Chiluba's shoes? What did they recover? Chiluba's shirts? What did they recover? So you can see that that's all Xavier Chungu is speaking about. And such information is beneficial to our people now, to our leaders now, that they should know the hidden hands behind the elections. They should recognize that there's a hidden hand you don't see in elections. You'll be seeing President Hakainde Hichilema, Brian Munduwile. You'll be seeing Harry Kalava, but you will not see the forces behind them. And that's what Xavier Chungu is warning. He was empowering citizens and voters. Be aware who is sponsoring these people. We've seen the regalia. We've seen that there's a mining firm that is being associated with President Hakainde Hichilema. We've seen, they don't want you to discuss that. Xavier Chungu was peeling the scales for you to see behind the headlines. if you see that a UPND, a multi-million-dollar regalia, they are flooding it across the country. Who has bought? Money from where? That's all Xavier Chungu was saying. They want him silent, so they've locked him up. He obtained bail, they still didn't give him bail. And that's a matter that caused Xavier Chungu. And today, they fooled him like they were releasing him and slapped him with 2 new artificial charges so that he can remain in prison. So Mwebantu Wakwalesa, that's a matter on Xavier Chungu. Let's go to Mal Sampa. Mal Sampa has joined Charles Chanda of UPPZ. He has joined Peter Chanda of NCP. Mal Sampa today says is him and his so-called PF, you know, he leads a faction of the PF, says he's endorsing the UPND. And he held this press conference, and let's hear what he said.
Bona fide members, there are many Gonga members. On behalf of the current bona fide members of the PF, on the current bona fide MCs on the PF here, I do hereby endorse President HH as the best candidate in the August presidential election. I, Mal Sampa, and the Patriotic Front, on behalf of the MCCA and all bona fide members, we hereby do endorse President HH as the best candidate in the August 2026 elections to take Zambia for the next 5 years. After we've looked at all the candidates that are there, he is the best candidate for Zambia. It's worth underscoring that the PF and Mal Sampa have not joined the UPND. We have not joined the UPND, but we have simply picked their candidate, presidential candidate HH, as the best of all of them suited to steer Zambia to greater heights until 2031. However, Shaishiba difference between endorsement and joining Fiabo issue. We are an alliance who have endorsed. Therefore, we shall immediately go flat out. These people you are seeing, these are strong campaigners. And this campaign from the heart. You don't need to pay a charity anything to campaign for you. You don't need to pay me anything. All these people, when we believe in a cause, tulafunga amachisha, twaingira mu nkondo. Money or no money, food or no food, we campaign. And make no mistake, Mbappe has not lost a campaign ever. We've been losing Chawama, and we'll win again where we are putting our heart to campaign. Therefore, we shall immediately go flat out to campaign for President HH countrywide and ensure that he gets his second term and carry on to push the massive macro.
Well, it was long expected that the faction of PF led by Mal Sampa with his loyalists, you saw them. When he formed a political party, they followed him. When he came back to the PF, they've been with him. When he held that press conference, other than Charity Banda, with his loyalists, they've gone to support President Hakainde Hichilema, and they say they will support President Hakainde Hichilema. Let's go back to the big issue, the church service today. Many people are asking how, despite the attempts by CCZ and EFZ, who demonstrated cowardice and refused their sanctuaries, their people, and their leaders to remember the late president, they were shamed by the Catholic Church, who stood very firm, and by other churches. We saw church service in Solwezi held, and there are other places that we are compiling where the church service was held. And many people are saying, but how is a Catholic able to defy this political temperature, this flood of money, this corruption, and all these things, especially intimidation and threats. The Catholic Church, other than what they believe in, other than, being the oldest church in the world, they've a Catholic social teaching. This is a body, a rich body of moral and theological doctrine developed by the church itself. This guides how the church responds to both moral, social, and economic issues because they live in a society. They know the Bible is very instructive, but they develop these Catholic social teachings. And the Catholic social teachings brought change in Latin America, where there was drug war, U.S. infiltration, where democracy couldn't take root, and there was torture, there was dictatorship. The Catholic Church and the Catholic social teaching came to fruition and brought democracy in Latin America. Of course, many priests died, were killed by rogue regimes, by dictators. Even bishops were killed. You can read about it. But the church stood firm until light came to Latin America. So when you see the church speak in the manner they speak, they are guided by these moral principles. It doesn't matter who you are. If you are a president, you are taking away rights of your people. If you are taking away both economic and social rights, you are subverting justice. The Catholic Church will speak, and they will speak boldly. You will accuse them of being politicized. You call them names. They don't care. They have a history. They've seen governments come, governments go, and they never change, especially when it comes to the issues of Catholic social teaching, which guides them in their interaction with a rogue government, with a government that is oppressive, that government that is taking away lives of people, that is abusing human rights, that is suppressing freedom of expression and freedom of thought, freedom of the people. You will hear the Catholic standing and speaking. And here today, they demonstrated 2 church services in one city. One at the Catholic Church in Chawama, Regina Pacis Catholic Church, and the other one at the Lusaka Archdiocese, where Father Simpasa represented the Archbishop of Lusaka, Dr. Alec Band, and you saw how he spoke boldly and celebrated the life of Edgar Lungu, Zambia's 6th president. The event was marred by confusion and after when UPND cadres attacked them. For Mao Sampa, we are going to see more presidential candidates other than the independents that are resigning everywhere. You will see more presidential candidates that Levi Ngoma is busy trying to buy, and as usual, that's his job. And our people are so weak. But Charles Chanda, but Peter Chanda, Ukonombaba Mao Sampa, and they've endorsed. And to the shame of EFZ, they must be shamed by the statement they issued yesterday that you cannot hold a memorial because there's no body. Come on. What kind of theology is that? That's why yesterday I likened it that what would be that barefoot rabbi do? What would Jesus Christ do in the circumstances? He will flip their tables. That's what he will do. He will do nothing else. That's why he usually called these church leaders whitewashed tombs, because they seemed so holy in their robes, so white, so pure, yet they were rotten inside. Because that's what a tomb is. The tomb is well decorated. Good plaques of stone. You've seen how beautiful tombs are. But what is lying under are rotting bodies and rotting bones. And Christ was not shocked to call out religious leaders. In fact, if you read the gospel, how he castigated the men of God of the day, the Sadducees, the Pharisees, these were the holy men of God, the holy men of the law. They carried the biggest scriptures. They wore the whitest robes, and they decorated the temples. And Christ had scathing words for them. In fact, in his ministry, he spent more time outside the temples because he knew in the temples were whitewashed tombs. They were white, holy, looking holy, but there was nothing holy about them. Looking pure, there was nothing pure about them. Christ spent his time with the very people they called sinners, the very people they denigrated. That's where Christ's work was. Look at all his sermons, the Sermon at the Mount, when he fed the multitude of 5,000. Where was it? Was it in a temple? No, it wasn't in a temple. No, it was outside, evangelizing to the lost souls. And I have no kind words for our leaders in EFZ. I have no kind words for our leaders in CCZ. I am very strong and condemning them because they put their hypocritical thoughts in a statement and we can read. And for history, those statements will not go away. The misconduct of these two church leaders, the organizations they lead are noble organization with an illustrious history in our country. EFZ, I think, has helped the evangelicals, Pentecostals grow in our country. CCZ, come on, it has such a rich history. And they cannot be defiled by the two men of God that are occupying those positions, and issued that scandalous statement, almost unique statement, as if it was written by one. I can even assume it was written by one person, probably from State Out, and handed the two copies to be read, because the statements are so unique, so hollow in their theological depth, so bankrupt in reference to the Bible, but pushing a moral argument that doesn't exist, that's not even Christian. So, mwantu wakwalesa, awe, ababa fiyashi besu, na baluba, I know we have a duty when our parents go rogue, we have to cover their sins, not to laugh at them. But a rebuke, a public rebuke like this is necessary. I'm a practicing Christian, Bible-believing Christian, and I know, and I was privileged to have worked for a president for 10 years, Frederick Jacob Titus Chilwanda. I knew how much he held in high esteem the church. And I knew how condemnatory he was to those that he feted, supported, grew their churches, donated a lot of money. And as soon as he lost power, they fled and they joined Levi Mwanawasa, started singing the same songs. So I even know his thoughts about those hypocritical leaders. But you are behaving exactly what the Lord Jesus Christ said, like whitewashed tombs, where you appear holy, but in your white robes, in your pure robes, but you are not preaching Christ. That barefoot rabbi would flip the tables in your church if he was here. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be opening the phone lines, and today we are commemorating the late President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. We are privileged that he was honored in our country, and let's hear your voice. Other developments that you may wish to discuss are two other issues. Miles Sampa's endorsement of President Hakainde Hichilema, an opposition leader supporting a ruling party. And there's another matter,
Incarcerated politician Rafo Nakchinda has complained before the High Court that he has been on a hunger strike for several days, with Thursday marking the 16th day. In an exclusive interview with Crown TV, Ms. Nakchinda says he will continue fighting for his rights until they are respected. He adds that all he can say is that light should shine in darkness, seemingly an endorsement for Brian Mundwili and Makebi Zulu.
Yes. The hunger strike continues until my rights are respected. 16th day. Well, the only thing I can say is that let the light shine in darkness so that we can be redeemed.
During court proceedings, Ms. Nakchinda told the court that he is going through a strange experience at the correctional facility. He says he has not been allowed to communicate with his lawyers despite making applications seeking access to his phones. According to him, the situation has deeply affected both him and his family, as he has been unable to make calls to send money and pay school fees for his children. Upon hearing the complaint, the court asked one of the police officers who were present in court whether he could explain the situation. However, the officer stated that he was unable to provide any explanation. The court then ordered Lusaka Central Deputy Officer to appear before court on Thursday, 5th June, to provide an explanation regarding the matter. Now, as the case was about to commence, none of the defense lawyers were present, prompting the court to adjourn the matter to Friday, June the 5th. Only 2 witnesses were present.
We remember Patriotic Front Secretary General Raphael Nakachinda is on his 16-day strike, hunger strike. Nakachinda is protesting. Number one, he's been jailed in a law that was repealed. And there's precedent, Supreme Court ruling that says you cannot jail someone on a repealed law. Authorities there, but the magistrate ignored what the law says and proceeded to put him to jail. His attempts to get bail has been refused. Even the man who fixed abode, well reputed, is a leader in our country. They've refused to give him bail. And so he embarked on, 16 days ago, he embarked on a hunger strike. I hope it, I pray that the authorities attend to the issue. Another matter he's been complaining about is that he's been restricted access, including to his lawyers, where his lawyers have been refused entry. Those are the 2 issues, the way they are treating him in prison and his attempt to get justice, get bail, and challenge his illegal incarceration. It's illegal because he was jailed on a law that was repealed, and the Supreme Court authority, I'll get it, I think I had said it on this program, and I'd cited the authority from the Supreme Court that outlawed that you cannot be jailed. Whether the offense occurred before the law was repealed, you cannot be jailed on that matter. The retrospective issue there doesn't arise, and the Supreme Court cited various authorities. But there is, they want to give him bail, now they're restricting access of his lawyers and his family to him. So he has embarked on that hunger strike. I'll be opening the phone lines just now, and let's hear your views. Do I have the videos of the late president?
The party, friends and all. So I only lamented that why should you be stripping me of these things and then pushing me and saying, no, we want to protect you. No, you see, demeaning of the president to be seen, to be going without this or that. I said, I don't need you. You don't need me. So I was very clear. I've not complained at all. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything, but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute, I walk the street, somebody says you can't walk the street because you're a former president, you are in danger of being attacked, and people might attack you and will be blamed as police. That's why we're following you. The next minute I said, but you mean you didn't know that I was former president? When you stripped me of these things, please, go and put your house in order. The next minute I want to go to church, somebody goes into church and says, oh, the party, friends and all. So I only lamented that why should you be stripping me of these things and then pushing me and saying, no, we want to protect you. No, you see, demeaning of the president to be seen, to be going without this or that. I said, I don't need you. You don't need me. So I was very clear. I've not complained at all. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything, but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute, I walk the street, somebody says you can't walk the street because you're a former president, you are in danger of being attacked, and people might attack you and will be blamed as police. That's why we're following you. The next minute I said, but you mean you didn't know that I was former president? When you stripped me of these things, please, go and put your house in order. The next minute I want to kill PF. And the same people should be presiding over his 10th memorial. the same people should be putting his ghost to rest forever, and we are watching. We can't accept that. That's why people are saying, what's going on in Zambia? What's going on? Because I don't want to say people were happy and excited when Mr. Sata passed on, because that's a fact. You can check it out for yourself. I don't want to say from day one, after Mr. Sata died, people began trying to destroy his memory by destroying
to put it very in clear context, you are saying when Mr. Sata died, some people celebrated.
Yes.
They even began to campaign immediately.
Yes. Yes.
They saw it as an opportunity to get to office.
Yes. So that is a fact. And now, the same people went further when they got power in 2021 to destroy his party. And tomorrow they want to attend the memorial to make sure that even his party dies with him forever. We can't allow that. So for me, I'm waiting between now and tomorrow morning to see what happens. How can you allow somebody who has murdered your son or your daughter and you are still mourning to come and attend the funeral and be made to speak at the funeral?
But how good your son
was. And you know about it, you say, wait a minute, what's happening? And I think I can just say the whole thing, I summed it up when I spoke to one guy. I said, because how can you, Ambassador, a Catholic, be remembered in a Jehovah's Witness hall? Yeah. In the 10th anniversary, or how do you get
to be dishonored?
How do you get remembered in a SDA church when everyone knows that you're Catholic and so on? And the state insists. And the worst part is that I have learned that the Secretary to Cabinet is Catholic.
Yes, he is.
And so he's the Deputy Oliver Karabo. They're Catholic, and they should have told government to say, look, how these things are done. Especially Patrick Angwa, who is a practicing Catholic church member, and I've seen him in church even giving mass, Holy Communion and so on.
If it's a felt need of the family, for example, that the president should not personally be in attendance. So what do we, why not delegate? Why not delegate? Why not delegate? Yes, it's awkward, but unusual situations, unusual circumstances may demand unusual responses. And it will appear, the problem that we have as human beings is that we think they now would have lost, then they have won. But sometimes backing down and then allowing certain things to happen may not necessarily be a loss. It could be actually a sign that you are greater than the other because you are ready to, to back down and give way, and for the sake of the greater good of the country.
Emmanuel Chikoya, former General Secretary of the CCZ, speaking very boldly, and we celebrate him. The statements that were issued yesterday, we have to be very clear and very condemnatory. You shouldn't allow our leaders to behave like the Pharisees and Sadducees that Christ condemned very often. They were a wealthy, aristocratic set of leadership. They were above the ordinary and they were very respected in the communities. but they didn't represent Christ. They didn't represent God. And Christ didn't take time. He didn't take time to condemn them. And he took time to even give them labels that they're like whitewashed tombs because of the hypocrisy. And their disdain for the sinners. The reason our leaders exist is especially to first look after the current flock that they grow in Christ, but also bring the millions to Christ. So your language should never be to the benefit of the strong. Your language should be for the benefit of the poor, the widow, the orphans. That's where you stand as a leader. That's where you are respected. That's where your works should be shown. The lines are open. Mwebantu Wakwalesa is Friday, and I don't intend to stay very long. If you have any tributes to discuss regarding the late president, you call now, because it's Friday, and I usually hold very short broadcasts. During the week, we can let you go. And I have a good announcement. Harry Kalaba is coming on this program, and he might make some major announcement. Harry Kalaba is coming on this forum. He has a major program in Serenje, where Bangwenavile is standing as Citizen First candidate, and Harry Kalaba has a church service on Sunday. So he's traveled for a campaign matter on Saturday, and on Sunday he'll be officiating on a church service. And then Monday, Tuesday, our leaders are traveling to Eastern Province. So as soon as he comes, Harry Kalaba will be here. Let me look for that video of Harry Kalaba. He may make some major announcements on Wednesday. As soon as he's done with these major issues, he's coming on this program. Harry Kalaba, look forward to the program for the Orange Alliance leader, Honorable Harry Kalaba, and Citizen First President. He's coming on this program, I think, on Wednesday. Caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Well, thank you very much. I will again opt not to disclose my name.
Thank you very much. Make your contribution.
I want to interrogate the issue that happened in Chawama today, the violence that was there. I took time to analyze those videos, and I must say from the onset that that is exactly what we have been calling for. What we meant when we were saying that the opposition must come together.
Yeah.
Because if there was no unity there, the opposition were going to be attacked like no man's business. Let them invest very much in cameras. You can see clearly that there is this first wave of people who are putting on the uniforms, who are in civil, who are throwing stones. And behind that crowd, there were cadres who were clearly in UPND attire, throwing stones. And then, when the Tonse cadres moved into protest, and I want to thank them. I want to thank the security of the Tonse people. When they charged in, they all ran away. No one has a monopoly of violence. That must be made abundantly clear. And you must understand that the 2021 elections, PF lost it because they lost the media war. UPND were violent just like that everywhere, but they were playing victim. They were playing victim and labeling it on PF. So that must be avoided and be made very clear. And we continue appealing to the Tonse Alliance security to be very strong and the opposition to come together, combined forces. Don't just be beaten all the time. Defend yourselves. That is number one. Then number two, I want to say that Jesus Christ, my brother, Ambassador Emmanuel Mamo, he said that they have made my church a den of thieves and criminals. They have made my church a place of enterprise. That's when now we started turning the tables upside down. Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, Jesus Christ said that you will know them, not by what they say, the rhetorics they say when they put on those beautiful suits. You know them by what they do. The Catholic Church has a prolific performance in this country. It is only the Catholic Church, Ambassador Emmanuel, that is capable of feeding the entire UTH there. All the patients UTH, Catholic Church is able to feed them. The Catholic Church, they are having the hospices where they are providing end-of-life care, palliative care. You know them by their action. Jesus Christ's life was about ministry. When you come to these people who are refusing, a church is a place of refuge for the weak. And today you have a church that is as refusing for people to go and find a refuge in the church and issuing statements. We are putting on beautiful suits. Their job always is to look flamboyant, driving expensive vehicles all the time. Yeah? So, shame on them, and they must be told, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, if they are running an orphanage, it's for the benefit of themselves, taking advantage of the orphans and taking advantage of the orphans to get money from white men to enrich themselves. What charity work do these people who are refusing? What charity work are they offering? What charity work are they offering? What do you see to say no? These people who are refusing to offer services are offering to the people. Tell me what charity work is there. Apart from that, their beautiful face, they will get ATM machines, they put them on their ads or on their church premises. They are worshiping money. So what we are saying is that please, these things must be mentioned in clear black and white so that they hear exactly that we are watching what is happening. We know that Hakainde has a lot of money and he has bribed everyone. That's why you are hearing all these things from Mao Sampa anyway. Anyway, for me personally, I've never trusted that man. You know, and you see one thing I like about Hakainde Hichilema is that he is very good on using people who are not decided. He is done now with Chavinga. He is now jumped on Mao Sampa. What a shame indeed. That man, always, even Mao Sampa used to put, Michael Sata used to put him on a distance. Some people are ashamed and disgrace indeed. The man, you can't know whether he's moving forward or backwards. The man completely has no spine. But you see, sometimes you must be able to bear with these people. Because Hakainde has been using the cases these people have against themselves. That man has a lot of cases behind him, maybe that which they could have used to hold him. So Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, allow me for now to give space for some of my friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's take the calls. It's Friday. We allow you to rest. We allow you to do other things. So make your calls now. Please don't call when I'm about to leave. Call now so that we allow you to speak and say your word. We have 3 issues that we are discussing. The matter regarding Raphael Nakachinda, the matter regarding Mao Sampa's endorsement of President Hakainde Hichilema, and the matter regarding the remembrance of ECL. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Okay, I'm calling from Durham, James. Ambassador, first of all, I just want to congratulate you for the courage that you've taken to have this program. Yeah, you may be outside, but a lot of us are with you. And we are feeling for you. but it's a blessing in disguise that where you are. Now, commenting on the issues pertaining what is prevailing in our country, I'm quite disappointed with my brother Mao Sampa. I did not enjoy anything from President Sata, but up to now, I'm still PF because I believed in his philosophy upon which the PF was formed. Mao Sampa is behaving like a son who inherits the wealth of his father, and then he fails to run. Then he goes to the neighbor's business to support the business of the neighbors instead of pushing the inheritance that he has received from his parents. This man has sold his birthright in exchange for a few million of kwachas or dollars, which he might have received. These people, I think Mao Sampa started a long time ago to join the cartels that were there when we lost our president, our beloved president, his uncle. He went to join UPND. We saw him coming back. So those people are not stable and cannot be trusted. And for their own information, all these people who are betraying us as Zambians by making shortcuts in whatever they are trying to do, it will be very, very difficult for them to be trusted in the future. And secondly, they are sacrificing the God-given thing that they're supposed to do. It's like I can call them, these people, they are political cowards. They always want to jump on things that are already just there. Mao Sampa of all people, endorsing someone who was the people that have been calling PF members as thugs, corrupt people. I don't know where he's getting all the stamina. Maybe, as the previous scholar said, because he's got so many cases, so he thinks he will be excused from being prosecuted. Maybe the reason that's why he has resigned to sell his birthright to go and just support. Usually, even as believers, we don't abandon our churches. We belong to churches because we have the theology, the doctrines that we believe in. And of all things, we believe in Jesus Christ. So basically, Mao Sampa has really disappointed me. I think the remains of President Sata are turning in the graves to see his nephew being a sellout just like that. I know Mao Sampa, he might maybe take a bit, maybe 100 people from the general membership of the PF. I know the 1.8 million that voted for President Lungu in 2021 are still intact, and I think we still have more people that have been frustrated by the non-performance of the current government. I hand there, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
To occasion more damage, Speaker is here. Many people didn't pay attention to it because the debt was acquired through recklessness. A ministry could acquire debt. Line Ministry of Finance is not aware. How can you run a country like that? How? So me, I'm listening. When people say no, they are coming back, I say, to do what? To occasion more damage so we can spend 3 years working on the debt restructuring again? The little things we've done in these 4 years and 9 months, we spent 3 years on debt restructuring. Imagine if we came in after the balance sheet was cleaned up in 2011. Today, this country would have been in a totally different place. We lost 10 years after 2011. Totally lost it. And now the colleagues want to come back. To do what? You can change the nameplate that you are now a different creature. You are the same. You can change the name. You can change.
We'll start by condemning the violence perpetrated by UPND cadres in Chawama. As the public may be aware, today we had a church service, a prayer service for the late President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. And after 12, soon after the service ended, we were driving through Chawama, waving and showing support to all our voters, when a group of UPND cadres advanced from the front and began throwing stones. As a result of that,
let's take some more phone calls before we close the program. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Bombeni.
And some Kwaimayo, Badishani. Oh, sorry, Ulukungu, Mkwai.
I am quite bad in San Sakona powder about production, so no match change to
what once a Patanam Quatasma, if you Mlelanda, once ever Nam Quatasma, Ukutina powder. Mkwai Mai, Landenipo. Yes, Mama T. Uh-oh. Hello? Mkwai, please continue. Yes, I can hear you now.
Mkwai. Okay, thank you so much. So, therefore, totela bonsaba chikwani shokuya kuchawama.
Yes.
Abantu balashitana nkani ba UPND balelwa na ba MMT. Time ya ba MMT. Baisa futhi bambo okulwana ba PF. So mwebe na Zambia isuleni amenso. Abakwate chongo apa ni bani? Cause if they fought with the MMT and then they fought with PF and they are still fighting with PF. Abarubudi ni bani? Tufude twaisula amenso. Namu mfokoko baleranda palina ni candidate restructuring yo balanda. Iyo ine ya shupa Mzambia. Campaign bakwete ba UPND. No, twalisange nkongolesho twasangire tashari buino chilina mwakuti na mwakuti. Nomba inesho ndefo kulandani ifi. Ba UPND ero bale campaign. When they were campaigning, when they were in the opposition, they were talking about this same date. They said, ba PF na bakongola sana ndalama. So ifunga twaisa. Tukesa puisha ma problems yonse aya. And then tukesa mipera no bungo bwa 50 kwacha. Tukesa mipera na fertilizer ya 250 kwacha. Mwe bantu bakwalesa umfuikisheni. Badi chiboko bati mchalo mwali nkongole. It was not a secret. It was there. Hakainde knew to say ba Zambia ba IPF na ba Kongole ndalama. Yet he never promised the people of Zambia to say if onga twaisa tukesa mboko study structure date yo bakwete ba eyo ba sendele ba PF, then after that that's when we will give you meal for 50 kwacha. Abasungu balanda ati bitten once, twice shy. Mwe bantu bakwalesa. Ubo baleranda bakainde bufi. Muibe pwa iyo, tuibe pwa iyo. Ifyonze fe baleranda bakainde fyabufi. Le pushenu kwa bati mwa bakainde pomwa ishirata mwakongola poendalama. Ichi chipanicha UPND umumwine mu government yaba UPND tamwa kongola po MPya. nga mwalikongole mpia twebeni nishinga mwakongola era ekyo zine mpia mwakongwere ishi mwachitamo bantu ba PF balekongola twalimona kwa mabridges bakula baba laisi omeiso rest in peace twalimona maskuzi bakula notama 1/3 blocks iskulu fye bakula yonse skulu twalimona esipatala ukushita upgrade ama-clinics to amalevel 1 mumpia esho bakongola ba PF ngabene mpia esho bakongola nifinishe fyo bachitamo CDF bali kusha CDF wine muri ba PF CDF yali 1.6 million but if yare monika nomba bena CDF yabo ni 40 million mwe bantu bakwalisa nishi mwa monapo apart from those toilets they've built nama 1/3 blocks ama classrooms elo nayo ni mungomo bakula they will brag to say awe twalingisha manasezi bangoko ama-health workers bangoko. Those are the plans that PF had. That's the reason why the PF balekula esipatala balekula ama-clinics balekula ama-schools balishibwa kwa bati apo okufuma 2021 kisafika 2026 tukesaingisha ama-health workers tukesaingisha ama-teachers abengi tukesaingisha ama-polisi abengi tukesaingisha ama-soja abengi ayo yonse yali ama-plans yaba-PF ababa UPND manifesto yabo yali 10 point shani plans iyo mwali monapo yali bomba awe ba.
Thank you, Mayo. Let me take other calls. Thank you for your contribution.
In 8 days, ukusta implement 74 laws. Iya kuisa titikisha imwe Zambianzi. Apana tukwata chance gane 4 years twaikero kwa bulama light. Ukula pepeko vize DNS fimoto ko fire runga. Abana okufwa papa nankane pamalainzi. Apana tukwata chance iseni tuiruvule iseni let's liberate ourselves when it comes to Mao Zedong. And I'm not surprised we are where we are because of Mao Zedong, and it's very shameless. So kuli Mao Zedong pale yoko kwini tapani ukamtrust ma politics his political nani kane jane ili afurungana.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you very much. Other caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Nameless, make your contribution.
Thank you so much, Mwamba. Well, Mwamba, the first thing I would like to thank the Catholic Church, for holding up the case. This in memory of Batataresu. This has been a very, very big gesture. And so happy. I'm talking on behalf of everybody. Who are meaningful. Then I know people have been complaining so much about the churches not saying anything. I'm a full Catholic. And I come from family of Catholics. And here I am, I still mingle with Catholic people. If Catholica, we believe in the strength and the power of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ never ever gave up. He was so strong and he died for us. Yes. So for Catholica, this is what we are. We don't care of anything. We don't fear because we are there to help, to give everything to people and to say the truth. That's why when we kneel before the cross, Jesus Christ on the cross, because there is a very big significance in that. So if tibaifofwe bakatolika nangatulelanda takitine chintu. Hello too. I'm not so disappointed for the fact that Bamayo Sampabaya UPND, it has always been known by Mwamba. And people should not even feel disappointed. Bamayo Sampa, if you are hearing wherever you are, and I know you are, you've just disappointed yourself so much that you are dreading your nights. You are dreading your night. You are in darkness. Your mind is just full of smoke. Bamayo Sampa. Is not everything. Let me tell you. You've got family. What are you teaching to your family, Bamayo Sampa? You've just disappointed yourself. You haven't disappointed any. We tell you, one Bamayo Sampa, shame upon you. Shame. Even the name that you carry, the name Mayo Sampa. Shame upon you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Mtale. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mtale. Yes, we can hear you. Make your contribution.
Okay. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for the people that attended the memorial service for the late president, even with all those studies behind it. You know, the issue of the late president is a serious and very emotional situation to those that interacted with him, those that had coffee with him, even to those that have sold him out. It's a very serious issue and sensitive.
Mtale is cut. Please call back. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba. This is Sinyangwe Dani.
Sinyangwe Dani, make your contribution.
First and foremost, we thank God for everyone that went to celebrate the life of our great president, ECL. We thank you and may God continue blessing you. And what you are doing, only God himself is going to reward each and every person who's behind the Lungu family. And we'll continue praying for the Lungu family. Second, shame on you, Mao Sampa. And President Makebi Zulu and President Mundubili. Uyu muntunga mwababa president. Mukamwekate, for he has sold Zambian biggest opposition party to the highest bidder, who's the person I would say is a Semlish person because he's trying to kill democracy. But Mao Sampa, you have just lost it all, and no one will ever look at you to be the kind of person that they used to look at. Third, may we continue praying for Banakachinda. You know, I know our justice system is killed, but not all is lost. Justice is going to produce very soon, and whatever is happening and whatever they are doing, it will not work. Once government, he says that what are they going to do, but he's still embracing the same people that he's insulting. That's why you can know that he has been talking about 5 years PFPF, but today he's sleeping with the same people that he has been calling names in the same bed. Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba. God bless Zambia and everyone.
Thank you very much. Yeah, please call so that we can take your calls, process them. It's Friday. We want to let you go and rest. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Mr. Mwamba.
Good evening, ma'am. Who's calling?
Anonymous, Bamwamba.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
On the network, in case Nakutuka. First of all, I say thank you. My favorite president.
Naku Cathedral, Kwachwa Kubidi, Naku Cathedral of the Child Jesus.
Indeed, Naku Cathedral, rest in peace, ECAO. Viva ECAO. A man of people. Even in Mufwa, ECAO wala mutina. Even in Batina Konechi Shingwa, I respect ECAO. I thank the place of ECAO. Machindika na bani na baletere ECAO pesamba lya chalo. Adi mundu. Bamwamba, Gosha achitika kuchawama. Bala bantu bakuchawama, bala PND. Wishi bachira konkela banabo. Kutuma konkela banabo bale blocha. Kutuma konkela banabo bale losha. Bala bantu bali bayivo. Bala bantu bali bayivo. Buvonesi wando kutamba. Lekeni bali bali kwa fifila fili. Ala ninti yo alibumba. Lekeni ninti yo lesali mulwiri. Bale nchitai kozi nachuwama. Ero inena papa kuli wa president weche. Chukulala nda kifinshi mkesa mkutita. Wishi bale tini na kushaba opposition. Wishi bale tini mkutita. ECAO bachire CDF. Yone di nono ukubomba. Nempia bakongore tu alimu. Nomba bene fish tumwenepo. Niveka balya. Balirye mpia balyelo bakakakwa ilya gurupu. Ala bakakakwa. Lesa tulira mweba mpama kufika ya siruapu. Ama kufika mwendele ba mundu bile na makembi wapite. Ichapiti na ba mundu bile ekta tulira. Ekta kamene ba echi. Ngababule kinga bachiteku sitapali no kufika batwala. Ngabala ndapanko ngunda epofyo muntu alichinja. Umuntu pasafeta alichinja. Musa kuli mausitamba. Kwa mutali mwadi baba Yuda Iskarioti. Ndiye ena muma demons omuyaba. Mule mulolekesha sana. Alikuwa kama demons mshaka munero alafu alikuwa mapepo yashika. Murabu kwa roteza na familia yako. Mwenye position ya chikile fyale shishane mpia alimedia akakakwa. Ati kwa chitakwa chana ngala kuocha vinga kabiyo kuna yole asanga abantu bali sababu. Nabeshwa ma tactics yako. Elo baya sala kupansa na batwali tipiri kwa tifiri kwa baimini na fibabili. Nokula tungu kwa basenda tiseni kuno tuachitali zaidi. Nokumfole mcha kuri programu ye ale umfa kuri programu ye nopo wikele na uko bana ero nokupana upwa ekupwa kobe takali noka kuposa noka kusindiza shishi bene abo bene bale kulisha ero bakakubutuka babala butuka abantu. Have you seen what they have done to Babinkombo? Who are you? Who is Mosamba? Uwo balungu batindike Mosamba ali samba no kula fare troshira mbokula muneka kwati misketi no na londo. Ba mwambale sale mpala kuli programu ala bantu balonfa unokondi ba mwamba kutali ukondi bati bale umfa kuli mibale umfa tu ba mwamba bala tampa programu yabo continue abantu n'abachinja ba mwamba ndifyo kutaji na network ile shuka.
Thank you, Mayo. Thank you very much. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Oh,
yes, Mutale, you got cut, yes. Please continue with your thoughts.
So I'm saying that, look, we have people who are who are wounded but wearing a sheep jacket, such as Peter Chanda, such as those bishops that have denied who were eating with ECAO. But I was saying that my last thought was, look, You on this program, Ambassador, you have brought people who you have interviewed, and you have asked them to tell the people who they are, what are their background. And to the pastors, you don't do that. Few people don't do that. And even, people don't just do a back check when people are pastors. But if I was to tell you that some of these pastors, they have been, I know God said we should repent of our sins. People such as the people are saying this here today are people who are once crooked, or who have been crooked, or are crooks. People like Lavena Joshabande was a national AIDS, national council, something called NAC. Can he tell us where the money went to? There was more than 500,000 or 600,000 funding from USAID that was supposed to go to Charles. Let him come and tell the nation where that money went to. So these are the people surrounding them, so that they are so much obsessed with nothing but wealth to enrich themselves. And it's a shame that we are actually able to mislead the people, but I think we know who they are, and since their agenda is to enrich themselves, we shall denounce them even from their pulpit as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've got another caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello. Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba, and well done.
Thank you, my dear brother. Make your contribution. Who's calling and where are you calling us from?
Romanian known as well. I'm calling from Zambia.
Mkwai.
Sana kuli ba PF wa Mwamba ba Legio ina ba UPND. Mwene umusaru la ulanda ba HH ali PF. Na ngulu pia kwena ni corruption epe muntu ale mwe bati wa corrupt ekumuleya. Chimono ko batu muntu ale kutukira omufyashi. Iwo wasangula ko bati eba ankona ngwe eba shikuru basuka. Chambuse bani. Nomba gusa kwiba amawuza mpaba Mwamba. Amawuza mpa ili adiyo yawe yali ishibikwe. Ishibitokane posera nishita. That's why Chansoni tete bajoin abanabo like BM8 over Makebi. That's why efe bale chitirafiya. Nomba nganiwe president. Nishita ukwete capacity. How do you go and join such a party ile kutuka? Olende balitu ba PF bali ona wirecha ba PF bali bakora abantu bahilanda abantu abakaele balilanda na ma project ba PF bachiti. What kind of a PF leader wewinga ya kumuntu wacho ni shikutu wabona kwati insoni buntu ni shinensoni tawakwata waya wabwera wateminga nato. I'm sure those are the kicks of the dying horse. So no wakalema takale kabusheni lelo batampu sasa ba mausa mpa. It's very disappointing. Ero kuma churches yambi tete tulande fingi maishwa inoshita impia shire bomba sana. Muntu nakula bana ensu kuti abanishima pepo alikwata abana alefu iri mbiche chirire sokutarezi ngala mashaku twala abana kuma college nza kuma university zechibalebera corrupt so tete tubaseke kubalebera kufyoruse capacity yeche ina ilalanda. So ababa nensu chilelenge mwashiba na kwata abana nabeshikuru nabekwa nangwenga bashima pepo ngapokerera brown emberu itachiterana we ichelomba minsoni. You want to defend Christ, you want to be to the side of God. Echilelenga so says. So my responsibilities bakwata balakwata imbya mafamu alikwata abana kuma universities na other businesses gaidi bambira chitarama businesses. So how can a preacher akunkanya kwa misango ya msango esyo? Chansoni.
Thank you very much.
Impia bale bachitaufa shile fulisha. So kucha ufane nsori bamwa. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening.
How are you, my brother?
Okay, who's calling and tell us your name and where you're calling us from?
Thank you, Ambassador. I'm just going straight to one of the subjects.
Okay.
Ambassador Mwamba, we always judge some leaders kulingana n'emitima bakwata. I think today's memorial service of Edgar Lungu marks every Zambian to testify that that man balikweto omutima osuma. Chalenga ndande ebifizo bamwamba nga muleyibukisha how Mao Sampa misbehaved during the presidential by-election after the founder, President Mago Sata, died, and the FH behave. Balungu asa kwate nshite ya kusalombo welelo when we had the by-election ya Lusaka Mayor. If ya kunkwile Mao Sampa. Balungu balandile fiatia we bonse tribena kuluba muntu nsefyo yule kentu mwelele limbi inonshita na chinja pantu even echipingo chiralando kwebati God loves sinners than hypocrites. Lesali temu abasambi kuchira babumi munda if you are Mao Sampa wapokelele. If you will recall back your ambassador, even their two brothers ba GBM na ba Shimba Kambwiri, despite kulanda sana FV kulanda mashwea bisana pale ba Edgar Lungu. But when it came to this, people said no, we have to reunite with the President Lungu. President Lungu, that's the only thing I'm remembering him today. Tarole Shekunu Mawe is just like I'm not trying to compare President Lungu to Jesus Christ our Savior, but the Mivele Fiava Lungu yali ya wina Kristu. Ba ambassador ngamlebukisha ilio Yesu Maria Magdalena had blocked the news to the disciple that Jesus has risen. Ala mikumanya. Ilio Yesu akumenya basambi bakwe fole after the first time he rose from the dead. Do you have something to eat? Do you have anything? Have you have a catch? At Yahweh, Yahweh asked them, can you lay down your nets and we have something to eat? Tabe bukisho kweba diwe walinkana, yo washtrefya shani, ali moving forward. I think Balungu Wali start demonstrate to be a true Christian, starting from Mao Sampa. He betrayed Balungu. He did a lot of damage when Mao Sampa decided to come back and come and contest mayorship for Lusaka. Balungu put more effort. Mao Sampa bambokulia. GBM wali sendo tundala matonso to bombe mu PF batola mu UPA ndi twandumbuila. When GBM decided to come back, President Lungu didn't even says GBM walintukile ensere mwalisirefya ashani and these our brothers once away mwepesa mbala chalo tubena kuluba GBM babapokelela. Even Shimba Kambwili, despite kulande fibi pali ba Lungu kubawesha panshu kubatukensele ilo ba Shimba Kambwili bayishibo kwebati isala yala njipaya babwela balungu andrefe bruand bonse tubena kuluba iseni tubombele pamu. I think today remembering Walungu is a true leader, is a true Christian. Ndelomba kwebati mupashiwabo ulale muchibote. That's why tulelando kwebati nabe twangati ntungulushi mufilongani no tuilaba konkelesha. In my conclusion bamwamba the CCZ compiled with a lot of biggest churches in Zambia. Not Kwataba UCZ, not Kwataba African Methodist Church, not Kwataba Anglican, not Kwataba RCZ, not Kwataba Presbyterian, not Kwataba SDA, and other Protestant church. Inachonde balomba ko decision bapangire balaba general secretary. As a person who belongs to the Protestant church, we need to know if that decision met a consensus. Did they consult the members of the CCZ or walicho omuntu umo bamupela, because these leaders, they should be learned to be accountable when they are making decisions, because the Bible tells us leaders without vision, people perish. Thank you, Bamwamba.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you. We will be hosting a program on Sunday, and after the funeral of His Majesty Mpezeni, will host Honorable Harry Kalaba. He's put out a notice to us. He's coming, and he might make some groundbreaking announcement. He's currently in Serenge for some activities relating to the campaign. Bangwe Navile is standing in Kunda Kulila constituency, the new constituency there, and they have a church program on Sunday, and then on Wednesday, Honorable Harry Kalaba, Orange Alliance President and Citizen First President, will be on our forum. Look for a guest that we may have on Sunday when they confirm. So like I promised, today is Friday. Let's leave you to rest. Or if there are other programs, you can watch those programs. I'll end with these videos. Oh, my dear sister is calling. Maybe she wants to participate. My sister, I said call before I go. Now you are calling at the end.
Yes, I didn't even hear. It came late, Honorable. How are you?
Very well, very well. Please introduce yourself and make your contribution.
Yeah, this is Precious Inonge Mbiaita from Livingstone.
Yes, my dear sister.
I just want to contribute on Wamao Samba. I'm disappointed with Wamao Samba. You know, on the other side, I'm proud of myself, Honorable, because I gave the true information to my former president before he died. I told my former president, that time when he was doing those things there at Secretarial, I told that Wamao Samba, the person who is using him, he want to make him a running mate. And I gave that information to the bodyguard, to the former president. You can even ask Iwachanda. And the person, he said the truth. And today now we are witnessing that the people was using Wamao Samba. Now we have a clear picture that it was the president Hakainde Hichilema. This is why today he even endorsed him to be his president. You've seen from there, Bacharity, I'm disappointed with you. And Bacharity, to be honest with you, if I knew that you was a betrayer, even the time when that woman inboxed me to say phone me, I was not even going to phone him even to know my number, because betrayers, they are very dangerous. There is no way you can pretend like you care about Balungu. Balungu, who loved each and everyone. Balungu had a good heart. He never chose who to love or who not to love. He was there for each and everyone. But you people decided to betray him in this way. The true mighty God who sees in secret is watching everything. Coming to what happened there in Chawama, Makebi Zuru should be careful. You know, Brian Mundubile is a very good person. But the person who follow Brian Mundubile, they are UPND project. So right now, they are not happy to see that Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zuru, they are working together. So the tag there was Makebi Zuru. So Makebi Zuru, you have to be careful, and you should put your trust in God. With God, all things are possible. So that's what I wanted to contribute, Honorable. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So our dear sister from Livingstone, she's a regular caller to give her time. So we'll see you on Sunday. God bless you.
We'll start by condemning the violence perpetrated by UPND cadres in Chawama. As the public may be aware, today we had a church service, a prayer service for the late President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. And after 12, soon after the service ended, we were driving through Chawama, waving and showing support to all our voters. when a group of UPND cadres advanced from the front and began throwing stones. As a result of that, a number of our youths and our members have been injured, badly injured for that matter. I've just been informed by those of our members that remain behind that, as a matter of fact, some of our members have actually been arrested. For what reason, I do not know. So to start with, I want to call upon the leadership of the UPND to immediately condemn the violence that has happened in Chawama. We want to warn the leadership of the UPND that the Zambian people not watch the UPND go to this length to disrupt peaceful processions. The Zambian people would want to see the leadership of the UPND speak against violence. UPND is in power now until August this year. What is expected of them is to lead by example. If at all they would want to lead a peaceful campaign period, they should start by condemning the violence in Chawama. And we call upon all peace-loving Zambians to keep calm, remain calm, as the Tonsi Alliance members will continue to promote peace, will continue to preach love and unity even during this very difficult period. I therefore wish to put it on record that the incident in Chawama is indeed regrettable, and that the political parties behind that violence should refrain from causing mayhem.
If it's a felt need of the family, for example, that the president should not personally be in attendance. So what do we, why not delegate? Why not delegate? Why not delegate? Yes, it's awkward, but unusual situations, unusual circumstances may demand unusual responses. And it will appear, the problem that we have as human beings is that we think they now would have lost, then they have won. But sometimes backing down and then allowing certain things to happen may not necessarily be a loss. It could be actually a sign that you are greater than the other because you are ready to, to back down and give way, and for the sake of the greater good of the country.
That he left. In this, it is true that those who stand for right and justice, they may suffer just for a moment, but posterity remembers them. Indeed, as the great teacher of the church, Tertullian, does say, that it is on the blood of martyrs that the church flourishes. It is on the blood of martyrs that the church grows. We in Zambia today, we remember a luminary of our republic, President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, of happy memories. Today, he marks 1 year anniversary of his death. He occupied a huge political and social space in our country, being the 6th Republican president. If we ever remember Lungu as a republic, it is what he did regarding constitutionalism in Zambia. At the risk of losing power, he enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic the 50% plus one. He was willing in defense of democracy and the common good to enshrine a constitution that ensured that a leader of this republic is elected by the majority of citizens of this republic. We have every reason to give him credit for that. That is leadership, not putting your personal interest into the laws of the republic, but looking at the greater picture of the republic, looking at posterity and the future of the country. He signed a constitution that had the 50% plus one, a complete change from a simple majority past the post. So we thank him for that aspect that God gave him to look at the bigger picture of the republic. Also, he was quite a sociable person, simple and ordinary, and yet President of the Republic. It is not in dispute that he was a man of many gifts. At one point, he held 3 portfolios, even before he became president. There was a time when he was acting president, Minister of Defense, and Secretary General of the party. It is a gift. 3 portfolios, 1 person. And so we are grateful to God for the gift of Edgar Chagwa Lungu and his contribution to our republic as we have come to know it. He loved the citizens irrespective of ethnic groupings. He had friends.
June 5th, 2025. That's the date he took his last breath. And over 365 days have gone by. No resting place, no final peace. Just petty, vindictive politics. My fellow Zambians, look at what they're doing to our very own. This is not who we are. We gotta get our country back. They think we don't see their bitterness. Even the youth know about their pettiness. Over 12 months since the leader passed away, but that man is still blocking his burial today. Twisted the locks to settle an old score, keeping the helpless widow crying at the door. You think you are flexing your power, lifting the bar, but you just shown everybody how hateful you are. Chagwa Lungu, they won't let you sleep. Chagwa Lungu, the grudges they keep. This is not who we are. This is not our way. We will change this story on election day. Chagwa Lungu, Chagwa Lungu, we are not going home. Chagwa Lungu, Chagwa Lungu, until you let him go. Chagwa, Chagwa, let the man rest. Chagwa, Chagwa, let the man rest. We are tired of the grudges, take your beef away. Chagwa, Chagwa, let the man rest. Hey. This is not who we are. Few days to go before we get our country back. Go anywhere in the land. When a man dies, we shake each other's hand. You drop the argument, you show some respect. That's the basic decency that we expect. But one angry man wants to play a wicked game, trying to erase the former president's name. If they can treat a statesman with this much hate, don't even think they'll care about your fate. Chagwa Lungu, they won't let you sleep. Chagwa Lungu, the grudges they keep. This is not who we are. This is not our way. We will change the story on election Forget that foolish pride. Look at the bitterness they're trying to hide. On August 13th, your vote has the power to kick out the hatred and heal our land. Shagwalungu, they won't let you sleep. Shagwalungu, the grudges they keep. Hey, this is not who we are. This is not our way. We will change this story on election day. Shagwalungu, Shagwalungu, oh, we are not going home. Shagwalungu, Shagwalungu, until you let him go. Shagwa, Shagwa, let the man rest. Shagwa, Shagwa, let the man rest. We are tired of the grudges, take your beef away. Shagwa, Shagwa, let the man rest. This is not who we are. Few days to go before we get our country back. Shagwa, Shagwa, let him rest. 12 months in the cold is enough. Zangra. Remember this when you stand in line to vote. Edgar Chagwa Lungu is still out in the cold, still waiting to sleep. This is not